Muted. Here we are, unmuted. All right. Hello and welcome to Kentucky NORML's weekly live stream where we bring you the latest updates and news on marijuana advocacy policy and culture. I'm Matthew Bratcher and I'm excited to be here with you today. Whether you're a seasoned advocate or just starting to learn about the benefits of marijuana, we've got something for you in today's show. So sit back, relax, and let's dive in.
Okay, so today we are going to be going over, we're going to take a look at the fascinating history of medical cannabis and its use throughout the ages. Cannabis has been used for medicinal purposes for thousands of years and has played an important role in various cultures and societies. Its use can be traced back to ancient civilizations such as China and Egypt. Throughout history, cannabis has been used to treat a variety of ailments, including pain, inflammation, and anxiety. In the United States, cannabis was widely used as a medicine until it was prohibited in the early 20th century. Let's explore the fascinating history of this plant and the many ways cannabis has been used for healing throughout history. And let's look at the slide real quick. In 3000 BCE, which is before Common Era, the first recorded use of cannabis is a medicinal herb in ancient China. 1000 BCE, the use of cannabis spreads into the Indian subcontinent, where it becomes an important part of Hindu religious practices. 1545. Cannabis is introduced to the Americas by the Spanish, who use it to make hemp fiber. In 1850, cannabis is added to the U.S. pharmacopoeia as a medicine, where it remains until it is removed in the 1940s. 1937. The U.S. government passes the Marijuana Tax Act, effectively criminalizing cannabis and leading to decades of prohibition. And in 1996, California becomes the first U.S. state to legalize medical cannabis, paving the way for a wave of legalization efforts across the country in the years to come. The origins of medical cannabis can be traced back to ancient times. Cannabis has been used for medicinal purposes for thousands of years, dating back to ancient China and India. The first recorded use of cannabis for medicinal purposes was in China around 2700 BC. In fact, cannabis was one of the 50 fundamental herbs in traditional Chinese medicine. Cannabis was used to treat a wide range of conditions, including pain, fever, and malaria. It was also used to treat various ailments such as rheumatism, malaria, and menstrual problems. From there, cannabis use spread to other parts of the world, including India, the Middle East, and Europe. Medical cannabis in modern times. In modern times, cannabis was widely used as a medicine in the United States until the early 1900s. However, with the passage of the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, cannabis was effectively banned in the U.S. It wasn't until the 1990s that states began to pass laws legalizing medical cannabis for certain conditions, such as chronic pain and nausea. The cannabis plant contains over 100 compounds, known as cannabinoids, that have medicinal properties. The most well-known cannabinoid is THC, which is responsible for the plant's psychoactive effects. The THC molecule interacts with specific receptors in the brain and central nervous system, known as the cannabinoid receptors. These receptors are part of the endocannabinoid system, which plays a role in regulating a variety of physiological and cognitive processes, such as pain, mood, appetite, and memory. When THC binds to these receptors, it can produce a range of effects, including the feeling of being high, altered perception, and changes in mood and behavior. In addition to THC, the cannabis plant contains other cannabinoids that have been found to have medicinal properties, such as cannabidiol, CBD, cannabinol, CBN, and tetrahydrocannabivarin. I hope I said that right, THCV. CBD, in particular, has gained a lot of attention for its potential therapeutic benefits, such as reducing anxiety and depression, alleviating pain, and helping with sleep disorders. Unlike THC, CBD does not have psychoactive effects. CBN is another cannabinoid that has been found to have potential medical benefits, such as promoting sleep and reducing inflammation. THCV is a cannabinoid that has been found to have appetite-suppressing effects and may have potential for treating obesity. It's important to note that the specific effects of each cannabinoid can vary depending on the concentration and ratio of cannabinoids present in a given strain of cannabis. Additionally, the interactions between different cannabinoids and other compounds in the plant, such as terpenes, can also affect their overall effects. Today, many states have legalized medical cannabis, recognizing its potential benefits for patients with conditions such as cancer, epilepsy, and chronic pain. In fact, cannabis is legal for adults in 22 states and Washington, D.C., while medical cannabis is legal in 38 states and D.C., with Kentucky becoming the 38th state when Governor Beshear signed SB 47 into law on March 31st, 2023. And if you don't know, that's me and Matt with Governor Beshear as he's signing a copy of the bill cover. However, regulations and laws vary from state to state. In Kentucky, we have a medical cannabis program in the works, meaning no medical cannabis card registries or dispensaries are open yet. So it's very important to stay informed on the latest updates and regulations. Make sure you subscribe to our email updates at KentuckyNORML.org. That's KYNORML.org. The future of medical cannabis looks bright, with more and more states legalizing its use and more research being conducted. As we continue to learn more about this plant and its medicinal properties, it's important to keep an open mind and continue advocating for safe and legal access for those who need it. As Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a prominent medical correspondent, has said, "It is irresponsible not to provide the best care we can, care that often may involve cannabis. We have been terribly and systematically misled for nearly 70 years in the United States, and I apologize for my own role in that." Okay, so that concludes our educational segment on the history of medical cannabis and its use throughout the ages. We hope you found this information informative and enlightening. Please join us next week for another segment on a different aspect of cannabis culture and advocacy. After the broadcast ends, this video can be found on our website, KentuckyNORML.org, as well as our social media pages. And on our website, we will also include more links and resources that you can use if you'd like to continue your education on the subject. So coming up next, we'll be reviewing the current state of cannabis laws in Kentucky and taking your questions in our Q&A segment towards the end. So please stay tuned. All right. So before we continue, we want to take a moment to talk about how you can support our mission for cannabis reform policy in Kentucky. First, if you're not already a member of Kentucky NORML, we encourage you to visit our website at KentuckyNORML.org/support to become one. In addition to memberships, we also offer a variety of merchandise on our website, from t-shirts to stickers to hats. We have something for everyone. All purchases support our mission to legalize cannabis in Kentucky. Donations are greatly appreciated, or you can send us a gift from our wish list, which is basically just office supplies. Every dollar helps us continue our advocacy efforts and make a difference in our community. We also want to mention our Retail Directory program and the Kentucky NORML Business Directory. These directories showcase local businesses that support our mission to legalize cannabis in Kentucky. By supporting these businesses, you are also supporting our advocacy efforts. So let's take a moment to spotlight a business in our directory. One Love Hemp Dispensary and Distributing is a new business with longtime roots in Louisville's local business community. Nancy Roberts opened the Southeast's first hydroponic shop in Kentucky in 1988. In 2015, she became Kentucky's first hemp association member with the inception of New Earth Hemp Solutions. She partnered with Jana Groda in 2018 and opened One Love Hemp Dispensary. Nancy's life work has been in cannabis, and she is grateful to be formulating and developing both Gummy Girl and Myco Girl with her former neighbor and best friend, Jana Groda. Jana's background is in natural wellness, cannabis, and culinary nutrition. She is certified by Trichrome Institute as a level 2 entrepreneur. I'm sorry. Nancy and Jana have been conference speakers and cannabis educators since 2016. They launched Gummy Girl in 2020 and Myco Girl in 2022. You can visit their website at onelovehempdispensary.com. They do have 3 locations, one in the Highlands, one in J-Town, and one just across the bridge in Indiana. I'm sorry. You can find it on their website. And they also offer you a 10% off coupon code. That code is KYNORML10. That's KYNORML 10. And you can use that online, or you can show your membership card at any of the retail locations. And the picture we have here is the J-Town location, which is their newest store. and we just think it's really beautiful. So thank you for supporting Kentucky cannabis businesses. Your support helps us make a difference in the community and bring about cannabis legalization in Kentucky. And then I'm going to give it to Matt to do our next segment on the current updates and laws.
All right. So now let's talk about the current laws and penalties related to cannabis in Kentucky. It's important information. This is important information for anyone who uses or is thinking about using cannabis in our state. Possession of cannabis in Kentucky can result in both a felony and misdemeanor charges, depending on the amount of cannabis involved. Possession of less than 8 ounces is considered a misdemeanor and is punishable by a fine of up to $250 and up to 45 days in jail. Possession of 8 ounces or more is considered a felony and can be result in a prison sentence of 1 to 5 years, as well as a fine of up to $10,000. It's important to note that while Kentucky's medical cannabis program is not yet operational, there has been an executive order signed by the governor related to medical cannabis. This executive order lays out the requirements to qualify for a pardon after arrest as a medical cannabis patient. Just a real quick touch on that. That covers about 21 different conditions that Governor Beshear's office laid out. But it is, like it said, it's sort of a pardon thing that you would be qualifying for after the fact. So, I think it's best if we just save for certifications much later when we pay the state for your card. We also want to make our viewers aware of unethical businesses that are selling expensive cards or letters of diagnosis under false pretenses. These businesses are preying upon medical cannabis patients, especially those who are on disability or are desperate in their addiction to opioids. It's important to know that these cards or letters or certifications do not make you legal to possess cannabis in Kentucky. So what can you do to stay safe and informed about the current laws related to cannabis in Kentucky? One important step is to know your rights. If you are ever stopped or questioned by law enforcement about related to cannabis, it's important to know what you can and can't say and what your rights are in that situation. If you want to learn more about the current laws and penalties related to cannabis in Kentucky, we recommend checking out our resources on our website at kynormal.org. We also have information about how to get involved with Kentucky NORML, our advocacy efforts to help change these laws.
Okay, and so now I guess if anyone has any questions they want to drop in the comments, let's see. It seems like we have some already. And we're just going to go through that, chat a little bit, make sure everybody's on the same page, and always finish right. So let's see. And then if we kind of have some example questions in case we didn't have anybody ask any. So let's change this real quick. So Anthony's just checking in to say hello. Hey, Anthony. We appreciate you getting on the live with us. And there's Miss Deborah. She's our cannabis nurse. And she does have a lot of great information if you'd like to reach out to her. There's Lacey. Happy Thurby. That's right. We lived in Louisville a couple of years back and moved back after COVID happened. We had family members that were ill. But yeah, I remember the craziness in Louisville during Derby and kind of miss it. But at the same time, we're getting older, so we enjoy the no traffic in Bowling Green where we are now.
Yeah. Relatively.
Depends on when you go outside.
Yeah.
So.
We got a new comment down here asking about Governor Beshear's executive order.
Let's see. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Oh, okay. That Matthew just dropped in to make sure you had the One Love Hemp dispensary code. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Here's a good question. Is Governor Beshear's letter stating if we have a receipt with our product, is that valid?
Yes, currently it is still valid. He'll probably keep that executive order in effect at least until the program is in place. But what that executive order does isn't as great as it would seem at first glance, right? So he did what he could, and he extended his pardon powers for this. If you qualify for any of the number of conditions, if you've got your receipt in the original packaging. Things like that. So But that means after you've been caught, arrested, in jail, through court system, and convicted, then you can qualify for a pardon. If you have your doctor's notice or letter of diagnosis from your doctor that says you fall under one of those 21 conditions, as well as, like I said, the receipt from the store, and it would being in the packaging that you got it.
Oh. Yeah, we feel the same way.
Yeah. And it's there for people who absolutely need it. I know, but that's still a lot for people to go through to get to that pardon. A lot of folks who would be making those trips, they don't have all that extra money for court and jail and all the fines and fees that go with it. So I know that he did what he could, but it pressured the legislature to really kind of step up and get a law in place. Now, it is going to take a while to get the industry going, which is, that's to be expected. It's like that everywhere. But we're hoping that they get the regulations in place quickly. They can get a patient registry set up quickly so that our patients can use in medical markets nearby. Now, not Ohio, but maybe West Virginia, and they can get access there. And other places, like if they were happen to be visiting another medical state that has reciprocity.
Well, but that's only
if there's reciprocity.
But that's only if you're a registered medical patient with Kentucky. So the letter with the governor's executive order that you can't go to a medical market with that because you're not a quote unquote medical patient with the state yet.
Right. That is a big kind of differentiating with everything that's going on. These letter of certifications.
I call it a letter of diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's not a recommendation. It's not.
Yeah. It's not a certification. But it doesn't allow you to purchase in a medical market. It's not recognized. So, I mean,
So that leaves you going to recreational markets, like Michigan,
Illinois, Missouri,
Colorado, that kind of thing. There's a lot. They're all around us.
Yeah, they're all around us. Virginia.
But do remember that it's still federally illegal. So crossing those state lines can still be a big risk.
Oh, this is a great question. How can you help? It's just organize, talk to your legislators, talk to your local representatives in local government. There are a number of ways you can get involved in advocacy efforts. Some options include, like I said, contacting your legislators, attending advocacy events, joining local advocacy groups like Kentucky NORML. And, there's, sign up for our email. We keep everybody, as informed as quick as we can. As soon as information's out, we put it out there for folks. So it's real important for us to be able to share that information to everybody.
So let's see. I don't see any more comments. Was there anything we had in our kind of little questions here? So I just kind of go through. So I'll pretend. What are they? So what are the? Did you already talk about the penalties of for cannabis possession?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. That was in a little earlier.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And that's something that we are going to work on. Like when you do talk to your legislators, talk to them about decrim. In the meantime, because we still got 2 years in patients. Well, they'll be legal in 2 years. They shouldn't be able to be arrested and dealt with, and just a general decriminalization across the board would be wonderful.
And I think that was kind of the point of the executive order too, is to sort of provide a light decriminalization as much as he could without making laws. But that's just the most important thing. If you hear anybody talking about buying a medical card, make sure they know it is to qualify you for a pardon. It does not protect you from arrest.
And, you check some of these websites, you'll find the language that says if this certification or card doesn't work where you live, then sorry. So, I mean, in the end, it's just a way to get you money. So just be mindful. These happens in all the states when it turns over. There's always going to be these companies that come in and prey.
Yeah, I was just reading India's It says, do you have a list by area who to talk to for people? Oh, so do you mean to talk to your legislators? If that's what you're meaning, yes, we can. There's different tools where you can go in and search by your address and find out who your people are. Okay, yeah, that's where. Okay. Also, with Kentucky NORML, when we put out email action alerts, we have a special email program that sorts everybody out by their zip code and their address, so that we have a form letter, you can just send it off and it goes exactly to the right people, and who your legislators are.
Mhm.
So that's just a really quick, easy way to do it. And then when you become a member, we send you a membership card. And on the back of that, it has the phone number to the legislative hotline. So that if you're at work or somewhere and we say, hey, we need you to call right now, call, you can pull that card out of your wallet and have that number right in hand, and
it's
have a little script too of what to say.
Yeah, it's a real quick call. All you got to do is basically drop, let them know your zip code, and just tell them what what we want.
The ladies are real nice.
Oh yeah, they're super nice people to talk to. It's real easy to do. These people just answer phones, and that's their job. They just answer phones and let people know, for our people. So that's so great that we have that resource that citizens can reach out and have someone that they can tell that passes that information along and let our legislators know, outside of straight emails and talking to them. That's a wonderful resource.
And we will start going over that towards the end of the year, about how to lobby, because that session starts in January. We have an early year session every year. Sometimes it's just January through March. Sometimes it's January through April. But when we start getting towards the fall and the holidays, we'll start training more on how to contact legislators, what to say, and that kind of thing. Because the more of us that are up there, dressed well, speaking well, and kind of breaking that stigma of the stoners, the better off we'll all be. So Marty says decrim for recreational MJ is better than nothing and at least a start. Then that's true.
Certainly.
And there's so much social equity, or social inequality issues that happen when we don't have the decriminalization. So we really, really do need to get action on that. And Nima Kulkarni, Representative Nima Kulkarni, has had a decriminalization bill for the last 2 or 3 years now. So we're hoping now that medical has some, support, and we've got that bill passed, that we can start working on the decriminalization. And like Matthew said, if we do have decrim, then the patients who are waiting for the program to start can be a lot safer when they are trying to get their medicine. But again, that's still not going to change crossing those state lines. So
I like Lacey's got a good question here.
let's see.
Are there any restrictions for advocating for it, like having a table at a public event to bring awareness? There are really no restrictions. We've come across some issues sometimes where, we reach out to an organization that is holding an event or a festival or something at the table, and they're like, "You guys do what again?" So, but more times than not, they're really friendly. They want to have some nonprofits there and other people spreading information. So we've had some roadblocks, but there's also a lot of people really into it and want to see change.
Yeah. And the way we have it set up, we don't do the local chapters anymore. There's the national chapter and then all the state chapters. And that's enough for national to keep track of. But what we do in Kentucky is have local leaders. And so if you are the local leader in your area, then whenever anything's happening in your area, if there's a festival coming up in your area, if you want to hold a town hall in your library, we'll support your efforts and send you the information that you need. And we're working on a little printable kind of kit for just the summer, because of all the festivals and things that go on, so that you can just click, print out some flyers, set up a nice little table and go. And we do a lot of things like use QR codes and stuff like that too, just to reduce costs and to make it easier for our local leaders to get out there and spread the word.
Yeah. I mean, when you just got a QR code, you don't need a stack of papers that could get blown off in the wind. Have that QR code, people scan it, boom, they've got all that information at their fingertips.
Yeah, that started during COVID and it kept on because it's a good thing.
Great tool. Yeah.
So India said, is there a local leader in Hopkinsville? No, we don't have anybody in hardly anybody in Western Kentucky. We have people all up and down the 65 and out towards Lexington and then Somerset and out that way. But no, Western Kentucky, but kind of stops here in Bowling Green. And
it's like 65 is like a barrier.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that would be great, especially if there's some events or things that you want to participate, and we make it real easy. We don't send you with merch to keep up with and things like that. We have info, some nice, fun little free stickers, and you just pass out information. So it's pretty easy and it's fun. People like to talk about cannabis.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, we'll get in touch with you and we'll go from there. Yeah. Sounds good.
Make sure you send us an email, India. It's info@kynormal.org. That way, or just send me a Facebook message, but just something so we can remember, go back to you.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't know. Do we have anybody else?
No, I think that might be it.
All right, good. All right, then. Well, guys, we had a good night. I think, we've covered everything we needed to. So.
Okay, well, I guess that's going to be all the time we've got for tonight on Kentucky NORML's weekly live stream. We hope you found today's show informative and engaging. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media platforms or through our website. And don't forget to tune in next week for more updates on Kentucky cannabis community. Thank you for watching. And remember, together we can work towards a brighter future for cannabis advocacy and legalization in Kentucky. Thanks again for watching. We'll see y'all next week.
Night, guys.